I'm Penny Hawkins. I'm from the RSPCA's Animals in Science department. So the RSPCA works to help laboratory animals by encouraging the implementation of replacement with humane alternatives wherever possible. Where that's not possible, we work to reduce lab animal numbers and suffering and improve lab animal welfare. And we also work to ensure robust ethical review of animal use. So I've got a strong interest in gene editing because of the amount of laboratory animal experimentation that sits behind it, and also because of the ethical issues that arise across all kinds of human-animal interactions. If you think about any practical application of gene editing, whether it's to wild animals or farmed animals, any one of those applications will only be possible because of experiments on animals in the laboratory. So this involves treating female animals so that their eggs can be removed to be genetically manipulated, treating other female animals, for example, with hormone injections so that they can receive these embryos. There's a very high wastage rate, it's very costly in animal lives, and it's not always possible reliably to predict the outcome of the gene edits. So all of this would underpin any practical application of gene editing that you see in the field. Gene editing is often presented as being a very precise way to make targeted changes to an animal's genome, but it's not actually that precise. There can be unforeseen side effects which are only just beginning to be reported, and it's far from clear how stable the edit will be from generation to generation. So the impacts on animals are not fully understood. Humans have been manipulating non-human animals for millennia, including by selective breeding, mutilations, even training animals you can think of as changing an animal to suit human needs. So sometimes it's argued that gene editing is just another tool in the toolbox, and what's different about that. But there's actually a lot that's different about that. Never before has it been possible to make instant, far-reaching and multiple changes to an animal's genome in this way. A lot of people have real concerns about naturalness and animal integrity that actually represent legitimate issues that the public is concerned about. I would argue that this technology has way outstripped public understanding and public consent. Like all biomedical research, gene editing research is done with the public's money and in the public's name. But people don't always realise what's being done in their name, and they ought to have an opportunity to have a say in what's done and for what purpose. To give an example, in a recent article about the use of xenotransplanted pig hearts to try to save humans, a surgeon presented it as you have less chance of success with a pig heart, but you can treat more people. Or with a human heart, you have a greater chance of success, but you can treat fewer people. He presented that as saying that the pig heart was the right way to go. Now, many people would probably agree with that, but the point is, who gets to decide? Should it be the person who has the technology and the resource to do that research? Or should they just be one voice? Should there be a wider consortium of public opinion that decides what it's right to do to animals and where the line should be drawn? The bottom line is that this problem, like so many others, is entirely induced by humans not respecting the natural world and not respecting the other animals with whom we share this planet. And yet more animals have to suffer in order to solve a problem that we created. We really can't go on like this. I think for a lot of people, the pandemic has also brought this issue home. It's really time for a reassessment of human relationships with other animals, and it's time for some lines to be drawn with respect to just how much we're going to manipulate them and whether we ought to just leave them alone. Gene editing may turn out to be a relatively humane technique for controlling unwanted populations of grey squirrels, but it's important to remember that this won't just be like waving a magic wand and walking away. Other interventions are also going to be necessary to manage the changes that are going to be made to ecosystems when this technique is employed. The rush to use gene editing technology has led to calls for its use for some purposes that really cannot be justifiable. For example, increasing yields in farm animals or altering the nutritional quality of products made from farm animals. Like any other tool then, gene editing can be used for purposes that many people would agree with and for some other purposes that are more controversial. The most important point is, who gets to decide?